Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. It's been a little while since we've done an auction because it's been very quiet, but today we're on the website of Heritage Auctions based in the US. We're going to have a look at their latest sale, which is a guitar sale. This particular auction is due to finish on the 11th of August. It's the 5th today, so still a few days left to go. Looks like the buyer's premium on this auction is 25%, so that's what you pay on top of the final hammer price. Once again, just to say, this is a US based auction, so if you're outside of the US, bear in mind kind of import, export, shipping charges, CITES, regulations, all of that stuff. If something has ivory or tortoiseshell, Brazilian rosewood, the US are just not going to ship it outside of the United States, so that is not an option. So yeah, check it out and see what you think. Yeah, let's have a look at this auction, see if there's anything interesting. 180 lots in this, so fairly big, but not gigantic. I think Heritage, one of the bigger auction houses in the world that deals with guitars, Heritage and Gardner Hallgate, I say, are one of the main ones, so it'll be an interesting auction. We'll just kind of go through it quickly, nothing too crazy, and we'll see how we go. So we've got a 1939 Gibson Royce Smec Stage Deluxe Sunburst acoustic guitar there. Interesting. Current bid 4.4. Let's see if there's any additional information. They give you a bit of info on the condition, if it's had any adjustments, any dings or things like that, if it's been modified, so that's always quite useful. I think for this video we'll just kind of take a high level overview and not dig into it too deeply unless it's something really interesting. And just to say, I'm not particularly an expert on guitars and things. Probably if you watch the Trogley's guitar show, he's a lot more knowledgeable than I am, but I will just have a look and see if there's anything interesting really. Got a 1947 Martin D18 in natural. Current bid is 3,000 there. 1948 Gibson SJ Sunburst, 2.5 starting bid. 1958 Martin Treble 18 in natural, 1750 to start, so nice looking guitar. I really like that model. Original finished is nicked and dinged, CITES there, so got to bear that in mind. Bit restrictive. 1965 Gibson F2S in natural, 900 the current bid. 1966 Martin D18, 2,000 there. 1967 Gibson B2512N, interesting 12-string guitar there, 725 to start. 1969 Martin D45, 25,000 to start. I was going to say this is super high-end one here from Gruen Guitars. It looks like there's a receipt or something. Brazilian rosewood, so no chance of that one going out of the US, so looks like a really nice instrument. I won't read all of this stuff here, but D45, super popular model of Martin. This looks like a really nice one. Let's kind of bring this up a bit. Yeah, it's a nice looking instrument, that one. So yeah, 25,000 the current bid. I'm sure that'll go even higher. 1970 Martin 0018, 1,500 to start. Some nice guitars here, nothing jumping out at me so far, but some good stuff. 1975 Gibson J50 natural. 1979 Martin D18, 1,000 is the current bid on that one. 1981 Martin D37 K2, 1,350. I think that's Koa then, I presume, is it? Koa wood, yeah. 1982 Santa Cruz F36 there, 1,650 on that. A Taylor Koa wood prototype, okay, 1,000 on that. Let's have a quick read. So some interesting features from the Guitar Shop collection, okay. 1990s Ehlers natural acoustic guitar, 1900, looks interesting. Finally crafted by luthier Robert Ehlers of Portland, Oregon. I was going to say, I'm not aware of this maker. I'm very out of the loop of guitar stuff these days. 1990s Everett Atlanta natural acoustic guitar there, $750 to start. 1991 Taylor K22, 1,000 on that. 1991 Taylor 812D. They've got a 1991 Loudon L34 natural acoustic there, $1,500 to start. Nice looking guitar, made in Northern Ireland. So, or made according to the design of George Loudon, so maybe it wasn't. I think there was actually a time where some of the Loudons were made somewhere else. But I could be wrong, so that could be wrong information. This might be a non-Northern Ireland Loudon, but interesting looking guitar anyway. 1992 Taylor 412 natural. Oh, a 12-string Loudon there from 1992, 1,000 to start. Don't think I've seen a 12-string Loudon before. They're not mentioning anything else there. 1992 Taylor 815, $1,500 to start on there. 1992 Taylor 814 Walnut acoustic. Interesting back on that, $950. It's quite a nice back. Do like walnut? I think it's a nice choice for an acoustic, in my personal opinion. 1995 Taylor 910, $1,500 on that. Huss and Dalton DR11, $1,750. 1997 Greg Rich limited edition Roy Rogers King of the Cowboys prototype here, 10,000 to start. See if there's anything going on here. Originally brought to the marketplace by Dream Guitars and Apparel Inc. and introduced in March of 1998 at the Roy Rogers and Dale Evans Museum. Okay, interesting. Built by Greg Rich and Mark Taylor. Well, I'll let you all read on to this a bit further, but if you are interested in Roy Rogers or the work of the maker Greg Rich, then this might be the instrument for you. And here is the Dale Evans model. So once again, if you like Dale Evans and you like the making of Greg Rich, then this could be for you. Another 10,000 to start bid guitar, very interesting. 1997 Huss and Dalton D5M here, 1,500. Circa 1998 Ehlers Natural acoustic guitar there, 1,250. I quite like that. I do like some of the natural finishes actually in acoustic. It looks really high quality wood used there, so that's a nice looking instrument. 1998 Collins OM2H, 1,500 to start. Collins and great guitars. 2000 Breedlove N25E, 1,000 to start. Oh, like really lovely woods on these. 2006 Eastman AC 615, $500. Still nice back on that, but it's obviously a lower tier thing. 2006 Gibson J45 in Sunburst 925. 2012 Martin D16R GT, $550 on that. 2014 Taylor 456 CE SLTD, nice back on that. 1919 Gibson L3 standard archtop, $950 on that. These are great. I really do like some of these older Gibsons, really nice looking. Circa 1940s Gibson L12 red stain archtop, $1,550 on that so far. This guitar has been nicely but completely refinished with a red stain. That's unfortunate. 1948 Gibson L7 archtop, current bid 2,000. 1948 Gibson L4 and Sunburst, 2000 on that. Got some resonators coming up here. 1930 or 1933 National Style O Green Resonator, 675, that's an interesting looking one. 1931 National Duolian Grey Metal Resonator there. 1935 Dobro Sunburst Resonator. 1980s Gretsch Showbro National Resonator Guitar. 1999 National Style 2 Triplate Resonator. Circa 2000 Dobro 60 Style Resonator. 1960s Gibson ES355 Stereo Cherry Semi Hollow Body, 12,000 on that. So looks like some minor scuffs, but in pretty good condition. So we're on to kind of the hollow bodies now, it seems. 1961 Gibson ES350T in Sunburst, 47 current bid. 1965 Epiphone Casino in Sunburst, 3 on that. 1965 Gibson ES335 in Cherry, we've got 4.2 as the current bid. 1966 ES335, 4.1 on that. 1968 Gibson ES175. 1968 Gibson ES335. 1947 ES350 P even, 3.1 on that. 1952 Gibson ES295 in gold, 11,500. So beautiful example of the famed Gibson ES295. There you go, original finish. That's a nice looking one there. 1958 Gibson ES350T there. 1977 Gibson Johnny Smith D in natural, 4.1. 1977 Ibanez F8 100. I'm going a bit blind now. Right, on to some solid bodies now. 1957 Gibson Les Paul Black solid body electric guitar, 15,000 to start. Let's read on this. Damaged but very cool Gibson Les Paul Customs. Okay, let's see what else is going here. Great restoration project for a very rare version of the classic Black Beauty. Okay, so it needs a bit of work here. Something funny has gone on, so a bit of a project for someone. 1960s Gibson Les Paul Custom there, 20,000 on that. So clean Jimmy Page looking 1960 Gibson Les Paul Custom. The Bigsby is likely factory with no evidence of stop bar holes, but a ground wire is run on top from the rear pickup to the Bigsby. Pickups are original PAFs. Okay, the cover has been removed and reinstalled on the neck pickup. Wired out phase in the centre position. Commonly seen from the factory, minor scuffs and dings, minimal checking to the finish. Pots and caps are replaced with date code 2011, and the caps are reproduction bumblebees. Correct ABR1 bridge and minimal fret wear to the fretless Wonder neck. Okay, interesting. It's a nice looking guitar. 1961 Gibson SG Les Paul Custom, 1950 on that. 1965 Fender Jaguar in natural, 1750 on that. Then we've got 1966 Fender Electric 12 string there, 3.7 on that, so that's quite curious. Then we've got 1966 Gibson Melody Maker in cherry, 750 on that. It's just one of these Silvertone with the amp. Yeah, 1967 Silvertone with built-in amp, 500 to start on that. 1967 Gretsch Duojet in red. This Mosrite or something. 1968 Mosrite Combo in natural. That's quite a nice one, 1500 to start. I thought they went for a bit more money than that, the Mosrites. Circa 1969 Telecaster, Fender Telecaster in blonde, 2.3 on that. 1970s Dan Armstrong Lucite body there, 1500. Once again, I thought they went a bit higher than that. Another 1970s a Univox Lucite, 1500 to sell. That's interesting. Value's a little bit less than I imagined. I mean, there's a few days left to go, so I guess the bids could go up. 1982 Gibson Flying V in tobacco, 1100 on that. 1983 Gibson Futura in white. This is one of the really oddball Gibsons there, 1200 on that. 1983 Charvel San Dimas Blueburst. That's a nice looking guitar there, 1350. Got a 1983 Roland G208 in it natural. That's interesting. Roland guitar synth in all original and clean condition. That's a curious one. I wonder if we can zoom in a bit on this. Interesting. I'm just not 100% sure that just confuses me a little bit, but interesting looking thing. Oh, moving on. 1983 Gibson Les Paul Spotlight in natural, 2.5 there. I have to say, one of my least favourite looking Gibsons, I'll be honest. 1983 Kramer HSS. 1985 Schecter Super Strat. 1987 Jackson Custom Bolt-On. 1987 Hammer CMDBO. 1987 Hammer again, snakeskin finish. 1988 Jackson Soloist Custom Designer Finish. Let's have a quick look at that. It's pretty interesting looking finish for sure on that one. Not quite sure exactly what the decal is. Interesting design, kind of unusual. 1500 to sign that. Looks like a Steinberger thing here. 1991 Steinberger GM4T, 700 there. 1993 Fender Harley Davidson Stratocaster. Starting bid to 10,000. That's pretty curious looking. Like the finish, looks pretty crazy, like chromed finish. I wonder if it's aluminium or if it's just chrome. Rare and limited edition Harley Davidson Custom Stratocaster, number 43 of 109. All of its original stuff. Comes with a leather saddle style gig bag. Interesting. And they're not saying anything, and it's not super heavy, so it must be just chromed finish there. 1994 Fender 40th Anniversary Strat there. 1996 Fender 50th Anniversary Strat. Circa 1996 G&L George Fullerton Sunburst. 1997 Fender Danny Gatton Telecaster. 1997 Schecter Strat there. 2002 Gibson Les Paul Faded Sunburst 1650 on that. 2003 Fender Stratocaster Sunburst. 2006 Fender 60th Anniversary. Oh, interesting. 2007 Taylor Builder's Reserve. That's a bit of an odd looking thing there. Nice wood, but not 100% sure on the aesthetics on that one, I must be honest. Circa 2002 Carvin guitar. I do quite like some of the carvings, so that's not particularly exciting. 2010 Rabeck Amber Solid Body. 2011 Gibson Joan Jett Tribute guitar. 2014 Fender Telecaster Jade Pearl, interesting colour. 2016 Gibson SG. 1960s Fender Precision bass there on 9750. The things there, pre-CBS bass there, all original. CITES restrictions on that one. Circa 1963 Fender Jazz bass there, 2,100 on that. 1965 Fender Precision bass in candy apple red. Circa 1966-1973 Fender bass there. 1966 Fender Precision. 1996 Fender bass. 1971 Fender Jazz bass there. Circa 1974 Fender Precision bass in natural. Circa 1974 Fender Mustang bass. 1976 Rickenbacker 4001 fretless electric bass there, 1,000 the current bid. 1980s Kramer natural electric bass guitar with the aluminium neck, one of my favourites, nice looking one, 750 to start, no bids on it, very clean and original. Interesting so far. I mean, I know there's a few days to go, but in general the prices seem quite lower, a bit lower than I expected. 1982 G&L SB1 in red. 2018 Fender Precision bass and Sunburst. Got some lap steels now. Oh, something went a bit weird there. I'm a robot now. Oh, sorry, I've got to completely ignoring this thing. Put the piece in the puzzle. So it's pretty weird. I've been looking at things so... This is really annoying. It shows you that my ability to do puzzles are pretty terrible. Okay, so 1942-1947 Gibson EH100 lap steel. It's really weird that you're just looking through and they think that you're a robot. Maybe think you're scanning for pictures or something. But anyway, 1948 Gibson G Deluxe Hawaiian lap steel guitar. That's a really cool looking thing. $500 on that. That's really interesting. 1952 Gibson Century lap steel there. And here's the big boys. 1953 Fender String Master. 1956 Fender Studio Deluxe Desert Fawn. A few more big ones here. 1950s or 60s Rickenbacker. 1958 Rickenbacker Console 758. 1970 to 1980 brown pedal steel. Looks like we've got a banjo here. Gibson RB 250 Sunburst 5-string banjo there. Got some other instruments. 1930s National Resonator ukulele. That's interesting. That's quite sweet. 1968 Dan Electro Vincent Bell Sunburst Belzuki. Okay, that's pretty bizarre. 1974 Martin T28 Natural Tipple. That's quite curious. Got some amps here as well. 2010 Marshall Mark II Black Amplifier Head. Got some Jens Benz bass speaker cabinet set. Okay. PV5150 as a combo, a popular PV amp. 1965 Fender Vibrolux reverb on the black face. 1968 Vox Bell guitar amp here. 1969 Selmer saxophone there, 4,000 current bid. Well, that's doing well. They always do well, these Selmers. Stevie Ray Vaughan signed backstage pass on a Fender Strat 775, the current bid, so this is probably autograph stuff. Trent Reznor 9-inch nails, smashed Gibson guitar. Kurt Cobain signed 1966 Fender Jaguar, current bid 50,000. Wow, okay, that's pretty special. I think anything Kurt Cobain goes crazy. That's mad. That's pretty mad. Elvis Presley, circa 1968, prototype Fender Telecaster Rosewood. Okay, that's interesting. Though the king was known more for having an acoustic guitar in front of his swinging hips when he performed live, he was not adverse to the electric. This is the first of 6 prototype Rosewood Telecasters that Fender built. Of the 6 built, 1 went to Steve Cropper, another was sent to George Harrison, who can be seen playing his on the Let It Be rooftop performance. Not only is it the first one ever made, it's the only one ever made without a skunk stripe on the back of the neck. Okay, interesting. So there you go. Elvis used the guitar intermittently over a period of a few months and sent it back to Fender. Interesting. So a few other bits of information there, but if you're an Elvis Presley fan, then that might be interesting for you. Multi-artist signed 1981 Gibson Sonex Deluxe there. So who has signed the starting bid 1000? Okay, I'm not really sure exactly who's signing that. So Jimmy and Stevie Ray Vaughan signed 1989 Fender Strat. 3000 the current bid on that. Carlos Santana signed 1992 Gibson Les Paul. Quite a nice Gibson actually. 3.5 to start. Les Paul signed 1992 Gibson Les Paul Studio. 2000 current bid. Paul McCartney's 1998 Gibson Les Paul Standard, 9,750 on that. Let's just read about that. Used by Sir Paul McCartney during his guest appearance on Bruce Springsteen's Hard Rock Calling at Hyde Park. Okay, interesting. Elvis Presley's Guild D40 Sunburst Acoustic Guitar, current bid 30,000. Let's read on that. Owned by Elvis Presley and gifted to his cousin Bill Mann. Okay. Johnny Cash's 1973 Martin D35, 8.2 on that. Okay. Claude King signed and owned Squire by Fender acoustic electric guitar. Pamela DeBar's 1922 Aunt Mabel's Gibson L1 Brown Stain archtop acoustic, starting bids of 2,000. This guitar has been around the block, owned by famous groupie Pamela DeBar's and accompanied by a signed letter from Pam, played by all of the Flying Burrito brothers, including Graham Parson and Chris Hillman, Lowell George, Frank Zappa, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, Waylon Jennings, Keith Moon, Don Johnson, Steve Jones, Doug Feiger, Ryan Adams and Rhett Miller have all played this guitar according to Pam's letter. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty bizarre, but interesting. Beach Boys signed 2012 Fender Precision bass there for 1 on that. Circa 1990s Lucite solid body electric, bid to 130. That's pretty cool actually, quite like that. 1977 Ibanez 2460 Sunburst. 1934 Epiphone Broadway Sunburst acoustic, there needs a bit of work. 1930s Frying Pan silver lap steel, I think it's one of the first kind of pickups here. Horseshoe pickup, really interesting. 1984 JB Frying Pan guitar there. More things here. We've got a 1932 Dobro Cyclops resonator. 1933 National Julian in green. Interesting. Is that green original? I don't know. Original cover plate in cone. The body has been refinished in green. I was going to say it seems a bit green maybe. 1990s Dobro resonator. 1958 National New Yorker in natural. Orpheum number 1 natural banjo mandolin. Got a couple of amps and things here. 1970s Music Man 100 RP. 1990s Vox V125 there. Schecter Sustainer in green. Circa 1962 Gibson SG Junior in cherry. Looks like another silver tone guitar in a case with an amp. 1980s Charvet in white. Circa 2000s D'Angelico Premier solid body guitar, quite like that. Nice colour, slightly unusual. 2017 Fender Jazzmaster. 2019 D'Angelico Deluxe in white. They were experimenting a bit, it seems, pretty odd models. 2017 D'Angelico DLX SS TP. 2017 D'Angelico, nice green. DLX DCSP. Another D'Angelico there. DLX 95. 2018 D'Angelico there, natural. 2018 D'Angelico FX DCSP in sunburst. 1920s, 1930s American natural acoustic guitar. That's quite nice. Quite like that. Circa 1990s Yamaha FG 4335S acoustic. Got another lap steel here, circa 1956. White by Fender. 1960s Hagstrom black electric bass guitar. 2000 Axel blue electric bass guitar. Fender Supersonic speaker cab there. 1970s black speaker cab. Roland K550 keyboard amp there. 1969-1971 Fender Super Showman SS1000 guitar amplifier rig. That is pretty cool looking, actually, I have to say. $155 on that. Solid state preamp in head. Okay, interesting looking thing, that. Jacob Steiner copy violin, $41 to bid on that. Early 1900s copy, apparently. K Yasuma natural tipple. Interesting, 2 tipples in this auction. 2000 Rivera Sedona Burgundy guitar amp there, 105. That seems quite low price so far. Should be serviced by a qualified tech. Okay. Tyler SC6 tweed guitar amp. Looks like we're getting near the end now. Bobby Brown signed Silvertone electric guitar. And then the final lot, I think. Vince Neil signed Ibanez guitar. So all in all, pretty interesting auction, I'd say. I think we're back to the beginning again, aren't we? So yeah, quite a curious auction, I'd say. I think I've seen maybe better in the past, but I think it's actually pretty good auction, pretty solid kind of stuff. Definitely some interesting bits here, and if you like kind of Elvis Presley and kind of stuff like that, then there's some high ticket items, some nice kind of Gibson things. Just all in all, just a fairly interesting auction, actually. So it was quite enjoyable to look at. So thanks a lot for watching, I really appreciate it. I'll put a link in the description as always. Check it out and see what you think. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.